You are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
And together we are Rotary. And your family always bring you the best content in the professional wrestling world and always covering every single show from the WWE, AEW, Impact. So thank you so very much for being with us. And it's time for NXT UK, Jean-Paul. This show actually was probably one of the best, if not the best show so far since its return.
Yeah, and it was, if you look at the card, there's only 3 matches, and we say that, and it was most in part to the promos and the main event. We had the Heritage Cup match, which was a little bit of a letdown, and the women's match, it was okay, but I'm really not sure where that direction is going, but the main event was a fantastic match, and the promos and everything. To me, NXT UK is the best wrestling that WWE's, putting out right now.
The best wrestling.
Yeah, just because the style, it's hard hitting. These guys are really beating the hell out of each other. This is, you watch it, and I say it every week. Every time I watch NXT UK, I don't feel like I'm watching a staged, predetermined show. I feel like I'm watching legit 2 men and 2 women or tag, whatever, in the ring beating each other up.
Absolutely. This is what we like, and we will keep saying it every single week until we get tired of it. It's 1 hour, everything gets good. It gets in the mix. We love it, and it's easy to watch. And that's the thing, because we go out watch other 9, 10 hours.
Yeah. An hour is like, oh, thank God. That's why we said only 3 matches.
Yes, yeah, it is. It's thank God. Thank everybody up there. So who you put the name.
Thank Triple H. Triple H, the King of Kings.
Yeah, thank God for terrorizing. Paul. Thank you for 1 hour. So before that, family, thank you for everything that you do for us. Subscriptions, comments. Thanks for keeping supporting us. And don't forget NXT review right there. The one NXT to the other NXT we go. The Wheel of Fortune is back, Jean-Paul. Shotzi Blackheart is going to be, spinning that wheel for the 2 championship matches that we're going to see at Halloween Havoc. So it is a good return for this Halloween Havoc. And also, the spinning the wheel and all of that is a good concept. And it's going to add more intrigue to what the matches are going to have on Halloween Havoc. So don't forget to watch that, right, Jean-Paul?
Yes, definitely. I'm excited for Halloween Havoc. It's good to, see them use that name again. So
use that name again. So NXT UK, NXT America to NXT UK, Jean-Paul, and like you said, the first match that we actually got to see was the Heritage Cup. That's how it started it, and we got to see the Bomber, Dave Mastiff, going against Jimmy Connors, I think it is. No, it's
Joseph,
not
I think it is.
Yeah, Jimmy Connors is actually a tennis player, but
there you go.
The ones that got the reference, by Joseph Connors. This match, like you said, it was a little bit of a letdown for me. I think it was the first round, especially because again, Heritage Cup is with rounds. Also there's 20-second breaks in between rounds. So the ruling, I think for certain matchups is affecting it, and for this one I could really tell that it did, because once again the first round, Jean-Paul, is just more wrist locks, just kind of both wrestlers feeling each other, kind of what are they going to do next, and it wasn't that great for me.
No, that's how every round has been. But then, by the 3rd, the 4th round, the guys really kick it into high gear and it picks up, and that's when you're like, okay, this is legit. But this match, the first round, they felt each other out. Second round, the tempers were flying at the end of the first and then really flying in the second. And it was, Connors couldn't really do too much power stuff to Mastiff, but, he kept hanging in there. And it was kind of even until the end of the second, and they really started, slapping each other in the face. Mastiff knocked him down. Connors rolls out of the ring. It's like, okay, the start of the 3rd round, they start slapping each other, punching each other again. And then Mastiff 2 elbows, and he knocks him out, and it's over.
And done, like that.
And done. And we see, I guess the second coming of Big Van Vader right there with that ring gear. I don't know what's going on, but, I like the idea that it was a knockout. It could have been done a hell of a lot better, especially when we see the hard-hitting stuff in the main event. And then you saw those 2, forearm shots is what took him out.
And also, more chops, slaps, hand slap, that's how, they went at each other by the end of the second round. So that was, to me, a little bit, really, because, I never saw neither one of them really trying to wrestle, going, full force. Kicking,
and even with Mastiff's match, and even with Mastiff's size, he can go from the previous matches we've seen him in. So this really just never got going. It was just kind of whatever. I guess they were like, okay, you're here to see the main event. Connors, thanks for coming, but Mastiff is the guy we're pushing.
Yeah, and that's the sensation that I got from this. It's it never took off.
Do you know what thing I really like though? How he kind of got I would say like he looks the worst out of everybody in this tournament, and he probably will. You know, and I love how Nigel McGuinness says, "Oh yeah, he was Michael Cole's pick to win the inaugural inaugural UK tournament." I was like, "Oh yeah," it's like, yeah, Michael Cole picks losers.
Yeah, and the one thing, like, I don't know if you know about Andy Shapper, the guy that calls the matches with Nigel. He doesn't know a lot of wrestling names than the wrestling calls. He doesn't say them, and you go, "Oh, Fraser," or like, "Oh, they really got everything of it," But it's good. It's a good combination. I enjoy them. But in certain spots when she could be like, "Oh, Meteora" or something, it's like, "Oh, look what she did," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'm looking."
Yeah. No, I agree, but the way they call it, it even makes it feel more real than like a SmackDown or even NXT.
Oh yeah,
Wade Barrett is good, but Vic Joseph is even a little bit corporate Michael Cole.
Formulaic. Yeah. You can see that like he's just like repeating like certain phrases that he memorizes, and that's how it comes out. But it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's funny how MASTIFF like got the win, but like again never took off. Connors looks the worst for me. The worst opponent. That like this tournament has had so far is Connors. MASTIFF is going to be good. We'll see what happens in the last, matchup that we're going to see soon. We got a promo by Trent Seven and also this guy, Kenny Williams. So this is going to be good. I like how like Kenny was training, and like his friend Amir, he was like right there. He's like, "Come on, dude."
Oh, Amir Jordan. See, I didn't like that because I felt they overplayed that. Like, who is really going to be like, come on, future Heritage Cup winner? Like, who's going to do that to hype him up?
Oh, but it's you and me, Jean Paul. It's like you.
If you did that, if that was you, to me, I'd be like, dude, I'm working. No, I'd be like, I'm listening to music when I'm working out. No, like when I'm working out, it's no. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like we're legit.
Jean Paul, you do the review then.
Yeah, I'll be like, we're legit, but when I'm working out, I don't need a little hype man, like whatever. But no, I mean, it's good. I really like the promo by Trent Seven, the video package they did for him a lot more. Or he's like, yeah, I got the wrinkles, I got the belly, it's a little bullshit, but maybe that little bit of he's like, but maybe that little bit of bullshit is what's going to give me the edge in this tournament. And he's never been the NXT UK champ, and that's something I thought he should have been even for a short period of time, just for the work that he's put in for that brand, and even just for how good of a wrestler he is. He deserves that recognition, but maybe he'll win this cup. I really think it's going to be set up for Noam Dar. I think they're going to have a heel win it and be like, so he can rub that in everyone's face, kind of how MJF won the Diamond Ring, which is almost like an afterthought.
Yeah, but nothing ever happened from that, yes.
But, I mean, this was good promo, and I'm excited to see their match. I hope Seven goes over, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kenny Williams, they try to push him. But see, the way Amir Jordan was like, I would play the split angle and been like, this should have been me in the match, not you. Because remember, they had that triple threat.
Yes.
And then he should have been, and then split them. Because you have a million tag teams in this division. You can afford to split one and, have an angle. Even though Morgan Webster and Andrews are done, but I mean, you still have plenty of tag teams.
You have the Hunt. You have those guys. So like, you should be good. You got like what is like
pretty deadly.
Deadly. Yeah, I was gonna say deadly lethal, but pretty deadly. Like around that. So like, you have those three teams, and you have Gales, of course, so they can just go around and everything. So I think that they're fine. It's not a bad idea either. Or maybe he will cause the match. So you never know. So there's the one we do another promo, Mr. Leek. This one was good, unexpected. This guy got a lot of fire. He was pretty much the initiator of the Speak Up movement. That's the one thing that like we would talk about. Even we went live about it like 3 months ago around that. And he's this guy. He made his return, Jordan Devlin. People that we actually thought that he was released by the WWE. There was never confirmation of it. So we thought that they did it maybe, on the low key and anything. But no, he comes back and he got a really, really great promo. Especially saying like, hey, I was like stuck with the pandemic, the movement, and I was seeing the bump, and I see that like they started to do like a number one contenders for the Cruiserweight Championship, and right away they tweaked that, and then they changed the wording, and then they go from interim champion to like boom to like the new NXT Cruiserweight Champion. So I like that. I like the intensity, Jean Paul. I like.
Very, very good intensity. He's like, I'm not owned by you guys, Jordan Devlin. Like, I'm my own man. I'm not your property. And send your boys here. I'll take them out. Just it's probably on their YouTube. Go watch his promo. Really good. And I do like this. The one thing you said, it was a shocker because the whole Speak Up movement, I legit thought he was fired or released or whatever. He's a hell of a talent. To me, he's like Finn Balor 2.0. And I'm not saying he's better than the original version or he's worse. That's up for you to decide, but he's really good. They had a couple matches even on NXT UK, Finn Balor and Devlin, which
they have in one of the NXT takeovers in the UK.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, this is good to see him back. Hopefully, he learned his lesson and everything. And I think he did, because it's probably, they told him, hey, like, you're legit. We're going to give you another chance. But if you screw up again, we're the WWE. We're not going to sacrifice our name for you. So.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter if you say you are the best wrestler in the world, pound by pound. It doesn't matter. We're going to kick you one in the ass like we've been doing with the Velveteen Dream, with Ciampa, with, the Austin Theory, every single one in the ass and gone. You'll be gone, Jordan Devlin. So it was good, though. Like, remember, they featured Santos Escobar, like, teases of that. I remember, like you said, property of the Performance Center. I like that, how they did all that story. And then he says, well, if you won this back, you're going to send one of your guys. So it's good.
And you know who they showed in that? Because it was Swerve Scott, Santos, and Kushida.
Yes.
So this plans for Kushida to maybe be cruiserweight.
Maybe, like either he comes back or maybe one of those guys arrives on England, in the BT Sports, all of that. It will be amazing. I think it's going to be a good showing. I think it's going to be good for like the cruiserweight division. And I think it's teasing, like a collaboration between both brands. So I like that. It's really good.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
All right, Jean-Paul, let's go to the women's side. Piper Niven going against Isla Dawn. Isla, I love Jean-Paul Egg Dawn. So he's completely infatuated. She's the same way. They feel the same. So this match was like to establish, like Nigel McGuinness said, like more kind of momentum for both women. Whoever wins is going to get a little bit more credibility because both of them come from like losses. Piper Niven, in the case of her, is like losing the championship match with Kayle Lee. And then like for Isla is against Eva Valkyrie. So, both of them needed some kind of like bruise again, kind of like reroute, and then see where they go from there. But see, the match, for me, the first, 10 minutes, it was not too good because, again, it was kind of like the first round for MASTIFF and Connors. He's just, filling them up, wrist locks, kind of Niven overpowering Isla. But after that, I kind of, it took a little bit better. It became, better for me, Jean-Paul.
Yeah, and they, I agree with that statement 100%. And when they really turned it on, the women hit just as hard as the men. They were really hitting each other, the forearm strikes. It wasn't like some stuff you see on Raw and SmackDown. They were really beating the hell out of each other. It was good. Now, and like you say, my girl, I thought was going to win this thing. There was a bunch of near falls, and I think she even hit her finish, and it's oh my, is it done? But, Niven kicks out, and they keep pushing her. They keep saying, she was with Rhea Ripley, and, they were tearing it up in 2019. This is Piper Niven. So they are keeping her there, and I wish, if you're going to keep her in that main event and keep having her beat up-and-coming talent, to put the belt on her.
Give the title. That's what because...
It's Kayle Lee Ray's legit. I love Kayle Lee Ray. She's a hell of a wrestler.
Yeah.
Kayle Lee. She's a legit wrestler, but it's hey, do a little title switch, even if it's only for 2 weeks, and then, hey, you give it right back to her, whatever. It's, you have a title ring.
Oh yeah, and that's the one thing. If you say I hit the Meteora, that was pretty legit. She did another move, and then also she had the Dragon Sleeper on. She had that, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, is that? Is Piper's gonna die? Is that?" No, Piper was good. She was able to overpower, and then Piper went for the Michinoku driver. I love that move.
The way she hits it, I mean, and it's just the impact, boom, right on the neck. They're not and gentle. I mean, they really.
Piper just really releases and lets go, and is really good. And we all love Taka Michinoku. We gotta admit, Taka has really, really legit stocks for us because the fact that he has a move named after him, is really good. So Piper was able to put away Isla, and she gets the win. So like you said, that strains her out, meaning okay, you won something. We'll see where you go next. I can see, Jean-Paul, the match between Piper and Valkyrie for the number one contender. Or
and that would be good, and then maybe
and then also.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of women in place in this division, so it's interesting to see. But like I said before, if you're gonna keep giving Piper wins, put the belt on her because she deserves it.
And you give her the belt, or she's gonna be Candice LeRae and just go 10,000 times against Kayle Lee and never wins. That's at least it was some kind of decent for women. And, she's not Britt Baker, like you mentioned on the AEW Dynamite review that's in the channel. Please watch our match. Please watch the video on YouTube. Now, we put great matches. Please watch it. You want more women matches? Well, please watch. So, that's what happens when, your division is not that great. So your segments will be good, but the matches will not be. So, Paul, main event time. While we fool around here, we're going to go with like Imperium, Alexander Wolf, and Bolta against Ilya Dragunov and Pete Dunne. See, this match was like, 20 minutes around that, and it was absolutely hard hitting. These four guys beat the hell out of each other. No need of like, juice, no need of like blood. None of that, but like
because Walter brings blood to the surface his own way. Yeah. Without splitting the skin. He just slaps the shit out of you till it comes to the front of your chest.
Yes, so like it was like brutality. Like I mean, and Pete Dunne is absolutely amazing. The bruiserweight or the broserweight, we can call it because of our boy Riddle, but he's just like he's so intense. And again, like the brutality from Walter, the sound of those chops, I'm still listening to them right now as we speak.
Oh yeah, this I love this match, and I like the story and the dynamic it told pretty much throughout 95% of the thing, where it was like everybody beats up Alexander Wolf, so it's like okay, whatever. But like when it was Dragunov and Walter in there, Dragunov, and I mean he would pretty much was doing the selling. He's the one who was in there getting his ass kicked, but Pete Dunne pretty much throughout the whole match was standing toe to toe with Walter.
Yes.
If you don't, it wasn't like, I mean, Walter would, eat a move and then he'd give one right back. But it was even. It wasn't like, oh, Pete Dunne gets his ass kicked. So, Pete Dunne to me is like he's their guy. As much as they love Walter, they love Pete Dunne. He's their guy. So this was good, and I'd love to see maybe a future singles match, between them again, because they hinted at it. Their history. Pete Dunne was the longest reigning champ. Is Walter going to beat that record? Who knows? But I mean, it was really good. This match,
remember, they even mentioned Pete Dunne is the guy that put NXT UK on the map. Why? Oh yeah, he was able to go to NXT America, and then just he pretty much fought everybody. Remember, Roderick Strong. Mm-hmm. He was like, he would team up with Matt Riddle. He was in the War Games, so he did everything. He fought Adam Cole for the NXT Championship at Survivor Series. That actually marks a 1 year for us, Jean Paul, going in the new direction that Roderick took. So, like, it is going to be amazing. And I really like this, like the brutality. Like, it was good, this story, because, as you mentioned, it's like a new foe and the, former foe, in Dunne and now, like, Dragunov. And Pete Dunne looked really good. I like how, like, he's still, like, in good shape. He still go. And I don't know what they have planned, but I can see pretty soon him going back to America. Like,
yeah, I see. As much as I would like. And I know, see, I would be lying if I say that. No, I really want him to stay here. Make NXT UK legit. You know what I mean? Make him as legit as possible. Keep Pete Dunne here. And then when Tyler Bate, whatever they're doing with him, if with his situation, he comes back, let's say, then you have them really make NXT UK legit, get them really established. Then, okay, Pete Dunne, okay, yeah, if you want to go back over, if you want to do NXT, North America, whatever you want to call it, yeah, go ahead. But like for hopefully the foreseeable future, he stays there. Really helps, bolster this brand again. But back to the match, it's just so good. At the end of this thing, I love when Dragunov, he just gets fired up, and especially when he like suplexes Walter. And that's the one thing with Walter.
The range suplex. This kind of like what like Shayna Baszler will do, but Shayna Baszler like, hooks in a different way. He just spins it. But Dragunov, because he just goes upside and then down.
Yeah, he did like a German. He did it like whatever.
Because he goes from the gut and then and then done. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean what's the one thing about Walter? He's besides the heat right here, he's always booked to win. They book him legit, but he's not afraid to sell for people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not like an Andre the Giant thing that's like, oh, okay, you hit me, and it's like, okay, Walter will fly. Walter will take a Hurricane Rana from these guys. And it makes the match that much legit, because when they finally hit that move and get that offense, you believe it. You're like, oh shit, like okay, you get into it.
I like that sequence when like Walter even went from like the chop, then he did the power bomb into Dragunov. When he pinned, he put all his weight on him, but then out of nowhere, Dunne pushed Walter out of there, and then they saves the match. Something similar he did Alexander Wolf for Walter, because Dragunov had hit like the Constantine special. And he did the move of that, the suplex. So it was good. And then Dunne did the fingers. And I love how everybody sells for that. Because everybody's like, ah. And then Pete goes like, ah. And it's like, ah. Oh, it's so legit. And I saw the bitter end. We haven't seen that in such a long time. So it was extremely great. And then the final sequence, like you said, Dragunov is fired up. He hit that lariat also, like it's the Constantine special, but it's just a lariat. Or the buckshot lariat, like, Adam Hammond Page. But and then Jean Paul, he hit the Torpedo Moscow, or the Moscow Torpedo, and that's something that no person in NXT UK has done before. And that is, no, it's not Ada. No, it's not Ada. It's actually, he pinned Walter, Jean Paul. Look at that. Yeah. Look at the chest.
That's what I mean. It's like, they beat the hell out of each other, all four of these guys, and but he pinned the champ. So what does that tell you? If, we go back to the classic booking, that means in 2 weeks, he's not going to win the belt, and that's a shame. Because I wanted Dragunov to win. I thought that would have been a great story, especially after that video package that they put together last week. But, for him to be the first guy to pin Walter in NXT, whether it's UK or regular NXT, is a big thing. So, it was good for him, and I think he can use that momentum. But hopefully he wins the match in 2 weeks. We'll see. I mean, he the way he reacted tonight was like you won.
Yeah, well, like right there. Look at the chest, Jean Paul. That's what happens when you don't watch Raw Break. When you don't watch any single...
We send Walter after you.
Yeah, we'll send Walter after you. We'll send Volta, and then he'll start chopping you. Watch, each one for each show. Watch Monday Night Raw, watch the soccer, watch AEW, watch NXT, and watch UK. God damn it. Yeah, so we'll send Volta with every single one of you. But it was good. It was a beautiful episode. Why? Because we're already done.
Yeah.
An hour is beautiful, it's enjoyable, and we're looking forward to what has in store next week, especially because it will be kind of like not a go-home show, but it will be like the last show before the championship match.
Oh, yeah. And it will be the last match. It'll be the last match of the first, I guess, like round, you would say, of the, Heritage Cup tournament. Yeah. So we'll move on. We'll know all the semifinal matchups. So that should be interesting. Hopefully more storylines with everything, the tag team division, who's attacking Flash Morgan Webster and all that. So it's really good stuff. I'm excited for next week.
It will be, yeah. And, we say Kayle Lee, maybe Jimmy, maybe Piper Niven, or like you said, Valkyrie. So there's a lot of good stuff. So family, thank you so very much for being with us. See, we got it simple to the point, so we're going to leave you guys, but the appointment next time is WWE Smackdown, because we have the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, defending the Universal Championship against Braun Strowman. Why? We don't care. It's all right. John Paul, remind everybody where they can find us in the social media world, please.
Well, you can go right here on Facebook, and you can find us under Rope Break. You can go on Twitter and find us under the OG Rope Break. Instagram, the original Rope Break. Right here on YouTube for the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the original Rope Break. And, of course, our new home, alleverythingentertainment.com.
If you want to find anything, go right there. All Everything Entertainment, just for every single one of you guys. So, family, once again, thank you. And there's one more thing that is left to say, Jean Paul, and that is...